I think it's a bit of a golden time for small businesses right now. It might seem a bit mad to say that because I know there's a lot going around kind of these days about how hard it is, how hard it's been lately. And I don't think I'm saying it's easy, but I'm saying I do think it's the right time, and it's kind of a golden time right now where people are actually searching out very, very small businesses because they are small, which bodes well for us. And I think what's going on is because of the rise of social media and because how it's like so kind of prevalent in everybody's lives all the time, I guess how it used to be was more like big businesses were just doing whatever they wanted behind closed doors and then portraying what they wanted like to the public. But now, because of social media, people are taking it upon themselves, I guess, to kind of out all the wrongs that these big businesses are doing and like really shine a light on all of that, which does mean it is becoming this big kind of trend of shopping small, which is great, seeking out smaller brands, but also of people just wanting to know exactly what they're buying and who they're buying it from. And I know it's becoming a kind of a bit of a trend for people to find their own brand, say like on Instagram or online, and you know, kind of come in wearing something and being proud of the fact that they've kind of searched out that brand themselves, you know, like they've kind of found it. So yeah, I think things have kind of changed a lot recently. And I know when I first started this business, it was only like, let's say 2.5 years ago, because I used to take my little son to the library. Sometimes I'd look at like small business books there, because things are changing so quickly these days. Any book that's kind of even 2 or 3 years old is really kind of out of date now. And so when I used to read these small business books, and as well, not that they were particularly made for like small craft businesses, which I think is a bit different and should be marketed a bit differently. So always the advice from these books and stuff used to be fake it till you make it. And I think that was the thing that back in the day, not so long ago maybe, is if you were a small business, you would do everything you could to kind of look like you were much bigger than you are. But now I'm noticing like big, massive brands actually doing the opposite. So, for example, you know that brand, I mean, I'm sure you know it, the dungarees, like Lusignac. So they were a business that started off really small and now just absolutely massive in quite a short space of time, really. I mean, they're definitely a big business now. They're a household name. You see them everywhere. However, if you were to look at their website, you will see them really, really emphasising the fact that, look, it's just a couple of people. They used to make stuff and sell it on a beach somewhere, and then they sold a few bits from their camper van. It's all very like, we are small. We started really small, like these are our roots, you know, then really like not letting that go, not trying to act big at all, really, even though they are a household name. And then also I was just seeing a bit of this documentary. It was on at someone's house, I think, and it was Jeff Bezos, and this is, I didn't really know at the time, but this is the Amazon guy. And I mean, obviously Amazon could not in any way, shape or form be described as a small business, but even on this documentary they were really harping back, getting pictures of him when he'd just started, you know, in his parents' garage with some old books, and really trying to put like an emphasis on the kind of that it was one person in a small thing, you know, like harping back to the humbleness of the beginnings. And so when you think like even these big businesses are really trying to look small these days, that kind of makes you think, okay, well, small businesses are in. It's definitely how people want to shop these days. It's funny as well, actually, because when I first started doing really well on Instagram, and I had especially this one reel that kind of really blew up, and it meant that all of a sudden I was getting a lot of feedback and a lot of messages and stuff, and there was a lot in there saying, oh, I love how you're just a person in your house and, you know, you're not all businessy. A lot of kind of things like that. Or I love how you're not a business person, you're just, you know, making stuff from your house. And at the time I was thinking, well, like I would like it to be a business, you know. I really wanted to look professional from the start, because I kind of felt like you don't want to look like a blooming girl just doing something from a house, really, do you? So I was really trying not, I was like putting stuff out on Instagram and upset about the fact that it was making me look so unprofessional, but I just didn't have the kind of camera and editing and video making skills to, you know, make it look professional at that time, or nor do I now actually. But yeah, so I was a bit like, oh, at first I was thinking, oh well, you know, we've got to make money and you shouldn't be telling people not to be a business. But then I thought, you know, like actually embracing that and really showing how small you are, like that's actually a really good thing at the moment. And I always hear comments like that actually from people talking about social media, saying, oh, it's disappointing when you kind of get interested in a profile or whatever, and then all of a sudden they flip and they start being really advertising and businessy. And I think, okay, well there's something in that actually, something to bear in mind. So what I would suggest with saying all of this really is, first of all, be proud of how small your business is, because you are just one person doing all this stuff. Like, that is quite amazing. I think we can fall into this trap of using this language that doesn't really work, because all of a sudden we think we want to be like a business, so we start saying our new range is launching soon, and using like our and we, when in fact it's just one person. I think for like a few reasons that can be quite off-putting. First of all, like I was saying, like most of us don't have the skills to make things look that professional at the beginning, and so when you're looking like you're very much just a person in your house doing something, and then you're using language like we're launching our new range, it's confusing at best. And at worst, it can look a bit naff and a bit like, do you know what I mean? You'd much rather, as a viewer, see someone just honestly showing you what they're doing and stuff like that. And I guess that like contrasted with the big businesses, like where people are becoming aware that they've been lied to so much. What they really want to see is just some downright, just a little bit of honesty right now, which is really good for us, because it means that we can actually just be ourselves, show people what we're doing, and people are gonna lap that up and absolutely love it. So it's quite encouraging really when you think about it. Like, I guess we've always had that thing of like everybody loves the underdog, but it seems like in this small business people try and skip out that bit. They try and be like top dog straight away, and it's gonna be a really tough old struggle as well, I think, if you try and start from the top and looking like you're at the top, because you've not built a story yet. And it's the story that, as with Lucy and Yak, who do it just so well, that's really what brings people in. So I think what I'm trying to say really just is like, embrace how small you are, let everyone know about it, show everyone. And as you get bigger, everything else will kind of get bigger and more professional naturally along the way. And what that makes people feel like is that they have had a hand in making your brand, and therefore they're really going to be with you and stick by you the whole way, rather than just being shown a ready-made kind of brand with everything all polished and they don't really know what's going on there. If they've watched something develop from the start, then they're kind of invested in you from the start. It's a bit of a short one today and a little bit of a ramble, but I just wanted to say, like, we are all small businesses, and I think it's really important to show everyone that right now and not hide away from it. Okay, all right then. Well, I'll see you next week then, hopefully for a bit more of an organised video. All right, thanks for watching.